Ben Ainslie said of their test day they were bow up, and they had a slam down, resulting on a capsize, and ultimately a complete rollover, with lithium fires. Not the best result for any boat. It was reminiscent of Auckland.
Yeah, big day out. We had some fantastic sailing early on, getting out into some big sea states, really put the boat through its paces. And in the second session for the day, we got going, we're doing a turn up, and we just got a little bit too bow up, a little bit too heeled, and we had a slam down. I think in the slam down, potentially something happened with the systems. We weren't able to ease the sails, which led to a capsize. The team responded really well. We got the boat up the first time, and then we weren't able to get the bow back into the wind quite quick enough, so the boat then capsized again, and that's really when we started getting water inside the hull and the mast, and turned the boat turtle, which you really don't want to do on these things. So we had a real battle on our hands then to get the boat back upright, try and get the pumps on board the boat, and then to cap it off we had some lithium battery fires going on down below. So it was a real challenge for the whole team. I was really proud of how everyone sort of grouped together, and the team did a great job. The communication was good and everyone played their part and really fought hard to save the boat, so real credit to the team. Certainly sent to test us, but the only positive is we were about to put the boat in the shed for quite a significant upgrade. Our target now will be to get the boat fixed up, get it in a new configuration for a second go at testing later this month, and look forward to getting back on the water.
This is the weekly Sailing Global Highlights show, The World on Water, February 10, 2023. It's day 12 of leg 2 of the ocean race, and the crew on Malizia caught a fishing net on their foil. They had to go on a mission and climb down onto the foil, while traveling at 25 knots, to cut it off.
What's the problem?
We have something in the foil. Big rope fishing net.
Take your hand, yeah.
INEOS Britannia, Britain's challenger for the 37th America's Cup, has suffered damage to their T6 test boat after a capsize incident during a test day on Palma Bay, Mallorca. INEOS Britannia skipper and team principal Sir Ben Ainslie said, "It was a tough situation for the team once T6 fully inverted. Everyone came together well to resolve what could have been a much more serious issue in salvaging the yacht."
And a difficult day for the team, a big capsize and a long job of getting the boat back in. Can you tell us first of all about the capsize? What went wrong?
Yeah, it was a tough day in the end. It started off really well, some great conditions out there and getting out in some big sea state. And then we went into a turn up and we just got a little bit bow up, a little bit heeled, and we had a bit of a slam down. And I think something happened with the systems on board and the slam down. We then couldn't ease the sails, so we did a full heeled over and capsize. And then we did an okay job of getting the boat initially back upright, but then just with the communications on board to the chase boat, we weren't able to get the bow of the boat back into the wind, so we went over a second time, and that's when we really started getting troubles and issues in terms of getting water on board the boat. The boat then went turtle, which is a big issue in these boats. And so there was a moment there where, it was just making sure we didn't lose the whole thing. But the guy, team did a brilliant job, both on the yacht and on the chase boats, and trying to coordinate the whole thing. So we salvaged, I think, the best we could. Finally got the boat upright, and then to cap it off, we had some major issues with the batteries, the lithium batteries setting alight, which was the final bit of carnage for the day. But again, the team dealt with that. So we've got the boat back, obviously, probably in the best shape we can have considering we went turtle, and we'll regroup and have a look at what caused it, what the issues are. The only positive is that we were about to go into an upgrade window anyway, so I guess if this was going to happen, it's not a bad time.
It's obviously very early to talk about the state of the boat, but is this like a major issue for the boat in terms of the systems on board?
Yeah, certainly for systems on board, of course, they don't respond that well to being submerged for over an hour. So we'll have to gut a lot of that. The big thing is the IP and the software is there, if you like. It's just getting the hardware replaced. Like I said, we're just about to go into an upgrade window for a couple of weeks, so our target will be to get those replacements done for the end of that upgrade window.
If there's a positive, it's got to be the way that the overall team dealt with it. We were on hand to witness it pretty closely. I was super impressed with how everybody communicated, how quickly pumps were on board, and you were right in the thick of it.
Yeah, well, you guys helped us out a lot, so thanks. We appreciate it. You definitely played your part. The team did a brilliant job. I mean, we sort of train for these things, but until it actually happens, you're never quite sure. And that's the first capsize we've had, full turtle in these boats. So plenty of learnings for us, and I'm sure for the other teams watching. And we'll take it on the chin and come back from it.
All right, Ben, thanks for talking to us.
Yeah, thanks.
I really appreciate it, Ben, thanks.
Popular French Vendée Globe sailor Clarisse Kramer has been dropped by her sponsor Banque Populaire just after she had a baby in November 2022. Banque Populaire's dropping of Clarisse Kramer has caused widespread outrage among the offshore sailing community and has become a huge national story in France. Kramer, who currently holds the record for being the fastest woman to sail solo around the world, raced for Banque Populaire in the last Vendée Globe, and was due to take the helm of the former Pivia for the same backers in the 2024 race, after being dropped by her main sponsor just weeks after having a baby. Clarisse was let go by Banque Populaire in the wake of a rule change in late 2021 that means finishers no longer automatically qualify for the next edition, and must be within the first 40 to secure enough points in intermediate races. This left Kramer out of contention, as she had taken time off from racing to become a mother. She gave birth to her first child in November 2022. Banque Populaire claims that it proposed alternatives to Vendée organizers, so that the regulations take into account the situation of women in the Vendée Globe and the question of maternity, but that these were rejected. Kramer, for her part, has blasted both the race organizers and her former sponsor for their failure to support her in motherhood. The rules of a competition are supposed to ensure fairness and sportsmanship. Today, the rules chosen by the Vendée Globe prohibit a woman from having a child, she said, adding that Banque Populaire decides that it represents for them a risk that they ultimately do not want to take. They are willing to take on the risk of a giant trimaran, and all the natural, technical and human hazards of racing offshore, but obviously not motherhood. Kramer has the backing of some of the world's top women sailors, with fellow Vendée competitor Pip Hare saying she is shocked and ashamed at the Frenchwoman's treatment, and Sam Davies, also a mother, branding the rule change's failure to account for maternity leave from racing as a terrible decision.
Clarisse Kramer is skippering Banque Populaire 10 in this edition of the Vendée Globe. Clarisse discovered sailing during her holidays, in regattas, and her first adventurous ocean crossings. Then Clarisse on the Atlantic was born. A model of marketing pertinence which enabled her to tell her story, a young woman taking on the Mini-Transat 2017, an example of personal challenge. In the class Mini, there are mostly people who have a job. Me, I was doing freelance work, I was able to train. She smiles, but she also works. In 2018, Clarisse continued her apprenticeship on a Figaro, in the Tourvoile to return to regattas. At the same time, the sponsorship team of Banque Populaire was wondering how to continue being present on the water during the construction of Armand Leclerc's new Maxitrimaran. Banque Populaire's team director, Ronan Lucas, admitted having been seduced by Clarisse's profile, and by the monohull IMOCA 60 SMA, former winner of the Vendée Globe at the hands of François Gabart. So, all of a sudden, Clarisse Kramer has set course for the Vendée Globe 2020. Almost an evidence. It is difficult to find a better track record among the old generation IMOCA boats. Winner of the Vendée Globe in 2012 to 2013, with the colours of Massif and François Gabart as skipper, this IMOCA 60 has also won the Route du Rhum twice, with François Gabart first, and with Paul Mayhat and SMA in 2018. The Banque Populaire team has chosen not to equip it with foils for the next Vendée Globe, because the boat can already speed away in all conditions and has proved its reliability. Moreover, the learning process might have been too challenging for the skipper. Will this stop the winner boat of the Vendée Globe 2012 from playing at the forefront? It's very unlikely.
Est-ce que j'aurais imaginé ça? Non. Pas à l'âge de 3 ans. Je me souviens, en allant à l'école maternelle, elle se faisait marcher sur les pieds par des petites filles et tout. J'ai dit, mais tu sais Clarisse, il faut savoir se battre dans la vie. Je pensais pas que ça allait l'amener aussi loin.
L'entrepreneuriat, c'est déjà une aventure. Quand on a fait une grande école de commerce, le fait de vouloir lancer son entreprise, quelque part, c'est déjà prendre des risques. Tanguy, il a un peu plus ce côté fonceur que Clarisse, donc je pense qu'il l'aide à avoir confiance en elle. On constate tous qu'elle a du talent, mais il lui faut des gens pour lui dire, et Tanguy fait partie de ces personnes. Moi, j'ai le sentiment que c'est son histoire d'amour avec Tanguy qui l'a amenée vers la carrière qu'elle est en train de vivre actuellement.
Son but, c'est de la terminer. Quelque part, elle porte des rêves que moi, j'ai pas su matérialiser, et elle va jusqu'au bout d'un rêve, et je trouve ça assez chouette. Mais c'est très bien, elle emporte les rêves des autres avec elle.
Emirates Team New Zealand has started 2 boat testing in Auckland. Peter Burling helms one, and Nathan Outridge the other. It is interesting as Pete was interviewed after day one, and did he admit to sandbagging? Emirates Team New Zealand started their two-boat training and testing program this morning on the Hauraki Gulf. The two boats left separately in the mid-morning from the team base on Wynyard Point and sailed down the harbour several minutes apart. Off Browns Island, at the western end of Course E from the 2021 America's Cup, both boats paused, with the lead boat having some adjustments made, while the second boat stopped briefly before turning and heading for Course E, also known as the back paddock. It is not known what configuration the two boats are in. Under the rules which govern the 37th America's Cup, ETNZ's second AC40, known in-house as AC40-3 or 43, can only be sailed as an AC40 in one design mode. The first AC40-1, 41, can sail as either an AC40-1 design like AC40-3, or as a test platform known as a LEQ-12. The move is significant in the 2024 America's Cup, in that Emirates Team New Zealand are the first team to sail two AC40s, or indeed any AC40s. This is the first time that any America's Cup team has been able to two-boat test since the 2007 America's Cup, or for the last 4 America's Cup cycles. Emirates Team NZ flirted with a pair of SL33s in 2011 to test foiling practicality ahead of the 2013 America's Cup. However, today's effort wound back the clock to the 1992 to 2007 era of the America's Cup, where teams would typically build two full-size, 80 feet, Inter-America's Cup class, IACC, yachts for long hours of two-boat testing of sails, rigs, and moding the two boats. Prior to that era, teams would acquire old 12 meters, or build paired boats to again put in long hours of tedious two-boat testing, pepped up with some match racing practice.
Peter, number one helmsman for Emirates Team New Zealand. Here we are, first day with two boats in the water. Gem sort of medium, lower end of the range. Both boats looking super slippery, and it looked like even match racing practice there at one stage, where lee bow tacks were being stuffed in there and looked awesome. So could you break the day down for us?
Yeah, it was an awesome day for the team to get two AC40s out on the water. One's obviously in our development kind of configuration, and the other one's in the one design configuration. So it's been great to, I suppose, get them relatively close to each other, and it's been a big effort for the group over the last probably 3 months to get both boats ready and to try and get the team in a state where we can sail both boats competitively against each other, and it's pretty cool to actually be putting that in action today.
Definitely. Now, we did notice a few techno people up the masts of the chase boats at times. Obviously, comms with two boats on the water has got to be quite full on. How much are you hearing? Are you listening to the other boats' comms at all while you're sailing?
Generally when we're sailing, we just kind of communicate through our normal loop on the boat. We've tried to set it up so the other boats are standalone as possible, kind of like a competitor, but then obviously there's little drills and bits and pieces we set up, which Ray and the team were doing a great job on from the chase boat. But yeah, just with two boats you've got kind of double the amount of data going everywhere, so it's really I suppose a good stress test today for the software team, and making sure everything was working, and it's pretty amazing to see how seamless it went.
It was awesome. We had you guys set up about a 2 mile windward leeward course, gate bottom and top, and we had probably maybe 8 laps of that. 9 jibes down 1 run was a count. You're not afraid of throwing it around, are you?
Yeah, well, we obviously chucked a few marks down just so we, I suppose, had somewhere to hang out and play and try and keep the boats together a little more organically, and it was just really cool to be able to, when there's really nice conditions and that, whatever it was, 10 to 15 knots, be able to throw the boats around and get nice and close and, start thinking about a different part of the campaign.
Definitely. So yeah, on that, we're going to be moving into probably an AC75 at some stage in the near future. Obviously, it's going to get very busy around here. You'll have sort of 2 of the little boats and the big boat and the forecourt and sailors everywhere. Logistically, it's going up a notch. You looking forward to that challenge?
Yeah, well, I think this team does an amazing job of managing the workload, and to have both boats in the water and to be able to go out and sail around some marks and pretty close configuration. I think this shows how deep the sailing group is we've got. Obviously amazing to have a few new people with us who kind of, with Leonard and Liv, kind of just joining to help top up our numbers, because we don't really quite have enough. But yeah, to be able to get them up to speed and to be contributing the way they are is really cool for us as a group, and I think it's going to be an amazing platform to kind of continue to learn through.
Definitely. No, we're excited for the AC40, the LEQ. Adam and I, the recon team, are really excited about just seeing the subtle differences. And obviously first day today, and there's going to be lots of conjecture as we pour over the videos. No sandbagging today? You weren't letting them get in front of you?
It's pretty easy to sandbag if you sit up a little bit behind, and it makes it pretty hard. So we obviously set up some drills where you, I suppose, make your life hard, and ones where you make your life a little bit easier. And then also we're kind of still continuing our development, so we're trying to work through a list on that side. So it's definitely a busy time of the program, but one that it's taken a lot of effort to get to this point. So it really feels like it's going to pay some pretty good dividends over the next period.
Oh, well done for getting 2 boats on the water. For Adam and I watching, we're learning stuff every day. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
There was a record-breaking start for the Canada Ocean Racing team on their journey to the Vendée Globe in 2028. The Canadian flag team, Scott Shawyer and Alan Roberts, broke the RORC transatlantic course record in the double-handed class by more than 8 hours. The mentor for the IMOCA team is Alex Thompson, of Hugo Boss fame. The Canadian flag team, led by President and skipper Scott Shawyer from Ontario, has broken the Royal Ocean Racing Club transatlantic course record in the double-handed class by more than 8 hours. The annual RORC transatlantic race, which takes competitors from Lanzarote, Canary Islands, to Grenada, Caribbean, saw Cove skipper Scott Shawyer and Alan Roberts race 3,000 miles to cross the line in 9 days 12 hours and 26 minutes, leading to a record-breaking corrected time of 16 days 3 hours and 39 minutes. This record-breaking achievement is a milestone victory for the Canada Ocean Racing team in their first ever race. Being newly launched in August 2022, the team had a goal to finish safely and competitively in their first official race. So, to be breaking records this early in the team's history is a great sign for things to come. President and skipper of Canada Ocean Racing, Scott Shawyer, shared his thoughts.
I am feeling super excited to be here in Lanzarote ahead of the start here. We just had a call with our weather router, Wouter, and we're on our way to a skipper briefing, and the weather looks great and I'm learning lots. Super excited to sail with Alan. The boat's in great shape, and let's go.
Hi everybody, well I'm down here in Lanzarote helping Scott and Alan prepare for their first race on Canada Ocean Racing, the Rourke Transat, from here in Lanzarote all the way across the Atlantic to Grenada. Well, this is Scott and Alan's first race, so they're not out there to push hard to go and win. They're definitely out there to try and compete, learn a lot, and depending on how the conditions, as always, will depend on how they do.
Shawyer continued, "Coming out of the gate like this is a great morale boost for everyone in the team, including myself. We have set ourselves ambitious targets, and this shows that we are on the right track towards having the first ever Canadian finish the Vendée Globe. It's still a long way off, and there is plenty to do, but it's definitely achievable." The team will now take the boat back to the UK where, under the management of 5 West Limited and previous Vendée Globe skipper and team mentor, Alex Thompson, it will undergo a service ahead of a busy year of racing to come. This will consist of a combination of regular maintenance, as well as several performance upgrades. Having Canada Ocean Racing back to the base in Gosport allows us an opportunity to come together and really advance into the next steps of performance that we have planned. Working with both the team's official partners, as well as our trusted technical suppliers, gives us the confidence to carry out the maintenance and upgrades. Following this early success, the team have now decided to add a further 2 fixtures to the 2023 calendar. The Guide de Bermudes 1000 race, a 1,200-mile sprint held in Brest, France, which takes place in May, will see Scott once again sail double-handed. The second addition to the calendar is the Défi Azimut Lorient Agglomeration, which takes place in September as a 4-day festival of speed, the highlight of which being the 48-hour offshore sprint race. Shawya added, adding 2 more races to the calendar for us is a fantastic opportunity to increase the learning and to continue to climb towards the 2028 Vendée Globe. I feel that these shorter distances will really help me dig into the challenge that is offshore sailing. The physical and mental challenge of being at sea coupled with the technical requirements to sail these boats is something I find myself ever more engaged with, and to be breaking records means we are heading in the right direction.
Today is our final day of racing, and I'm excited. I'm like a kid on Christmas morning. We have an update in 20 minutes, and we've been really making good progress overnight. So can't wait to see where we are versus our competitors. This has been a lot of fun. So today we work like dogs, is what I'm told by Alan. Not that we have been working like dogs, but it's because today is particularly a work like day dog as the last day. There's some maneuvers to make and some sails to change and a finish line to cross. So pretty exciting day. And we're about a mile from the finish line. This far. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo!
We done it.
We're done.
Nice one. Well done, Scott.
Congratulations, sir. We believe you have crossed the line now, and welcome to Grenada.
Hey.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well done. Yeah, how's it going?
All right, here we are at the finish of the Rourke Transatlantic race, and wanted to give everybody a quick race wrap-up report here. Super happy with how we finished second across the line against some really world-class professional, fully crewed boats. So to do that, you know, my co-skipper, I have to give a lot of credit to, very experienced sailor, but to do it as a very new double-handed team and a new boat for us is really something, and you know, just speaks to the preparation that we've done, to the team that I have around me, and so super thrilled about that. Coming into this, you know, I was a little bit nervous about a lot of things, about my ability to handle seasickness, about some anxiety of different things, and just wasn't sure that I was prepared. But you know, did a lot of training out of Portugal, did some heavy weather training, and found that this really fell into place, and I felt really well prepared, especially coming out of the Canary Islands. Really kind of got into a groove. We started out pretty well. Found the boat was fast. We didn't get a great start. Going around the first mark into the Canary Islands, we tried to do a bit of a change from one sail to another, from our A2 to a masthead 0, and it took us a long time, and we just could see other boats passing and passing and passing. Because on a fully crewed boat, they want to change sails, they go boom, it's pretty much changed. For us, it's a half-hour process at the minimum, and so lost a lot of time there. But then as we started going out of the Canary Islands, we could see we were gaining back on other boats and passing boats, and so that was fantastic. Got out into the open ocean and changed from our A2 to our A3 to give us a little more flexibility and allow for more wind range, and weren't able to sail as deep, and we were really cutting and jibing and ducking and diving with a lot of different boats, and really got into a great rhythm. The boat held up really well. We were in race mode for 95% of it. We had a few breakages and a few issues, but you know, nothing major. A number of these other teams blew up sails, had major failures on the course, and our boat held, and we stayed within our limits, but we're able to push. Our strategy paid off really well. Traditionally, this course is either a rumline race or a south race for more breeze. We decided to split the difference and stay in the middle to give us options on, you know, how to play shifts and clouds. And if the others picked, if we had picked the corners like others did, it really limits the options. So I think our strategy and tactics really played off and put us in a good position. And coming into the finish here, you know, it was 2.5 days from the finish. We modeled out us versus the top teams. Poland was well ahead, but Jazzy and Black Pearl, we were all within 7 minutes of finishing 2.5 days out. So Alan and I really decided to put the pedal to the metal and do a lot of work, especially at night where we could find squalls to run. And we really let the horses out of the barn and let them run for the last 2 or 3 days, and are very happy with how we finished. So really great race. Want to say thank you to my team and everybody on Canada Ocean Racing for all the work they did to get the boat ready and support us through this. Real thank you to Rourke for putting the race together and organizing such a well-run race, and to our competitors. Really fun to have such great racing out there, and to make it more than just a sail, to make it a true race. So, and of course, thank you to all of our fans out there and everybody following for all of your support. This has really been a great start to our journey to the Vendée Globe 2028.